I have the pleasure of talking with Dave Rude in the studio here in Sacramento. And the last time I talked to you, you were actually in the process of making The Key, your solo album, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And now here you are back in the studio doing the Tesla.
That's it, man. Glad to be here.
Yeah, absolutely. So, what's like the last year been like for you guys? I mean, you guys went to Virginia for a while, right? Took a break and started writing the album.
Twice we went out to Virginia and just did, pretty intensive just writing sessions with nothing to do but write. It was really, really fun and super productive. So, we come into the game like pretty well prepared this time.
Really?
Songs are already there, for the most part. Whereas, it's not always been that way. Sometimes you have to kind of write them as you're going in the studio. But this time, we've got the core of a lot of songs already sussed out and demoed up before we've even come in here to start recording. So definitely has helped a lot. And then we can kind of just focus on getting good performances and good tones and all that.
Right. Frank played a couple of the cuts, and your guitar tone is killer. Both of you guys, you compliment each other a lot. And just like, the tone you guys have, it sounds really, really good. And he was like telling me it was a rough mix. I was like, you're kidding.
Oh yeah, it's all pretty rough now. But
it didn't sound like
we spent time getting tones that would match and kind of work on certain styles of songs. So we're always kind of prepared because we've got tons of amps in there.
Right. So do you guys all kind of help out as far as like the production? I mean, is everybody pretty involved, or does one guy take the lead, or?
We've all done it a bunch, so we kind of know what we want. But I don't know. It's kind of collaborative all around. So yes and no.
Yes and no. Yeah. So do you have a favorite song so far?
Probably Sympathy, which maybe by the time this interview's up, people will know what that means.
Well, we've talked about that a bit, so that's kind of a word aside at this point. But yeah, that was a good one.
It's one of my favorite songs.
Yeah.
But that's other cool thing is that it's hard to pick one.
Right.
So I'll take that as a good song. If it's hard to pick a favorite song, even though I'm, in the band.
Right. Absolutely.
But yeah, Sympathy's a cool one. Rise and Fall is a cool one. That one, once people hear the record, I think people are gonna be pretty surprised by that one because it still sounds like Tesla, but that song in particular doesn't sound like Tesla, like anything Tesla's ever done. So it's kind of weird. It's a mix. So it's not like completely out of left field, but it's totally different than anything that's been on a Tesla record, which doesn't make sense on paper. But when you hear
it does. Yeah, it makes sense. It does make sense. And on this one, as far as your playing goes, I mean, did you change anything up this time more so than you have on like other albums you played on, or are you just sticking basically just straightforward?
No, just go. Play as much as you can before coming in, and I worked out the leads more this time in advance, just so I kind of have a better idea, make them more like songs within songs and kind of more melodic and hooky and stuff instead of just improvising. Which I've done both in the past, but I usually am happier when I have at least a general guideline of how I want a lead to go, or even completely everything note for note. So that's probably the only difference, is that I've pretty much made so far almost every lead I've done I've written out beforehand in practice.
Right.
But that said, I'm way happier with the leads this time, so I think it was a good thing.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean they're boring and like mechanical. And normally when people say that, I think, oh great, they're gonna suck. But no, it's a good thing.
Right. Years ago, starting out when you started your career, did you ever have any idea that your career was going to go this long? And do you just have the success that you do? I mean, do you have any idea?
I don't know. I always hope so.
Yeah.
I joined Tesla like 8 years ago, which is a long time, but as far as like a career, it's still not that long. So I'm definitely excited to keep going. And I'm always really grateful to have any kind of career in music and be able to make a living doing it. So that, especially these days, is so rare. And so, I guess I was always, hopeful for it.
Yeah.
I kind of was planning on it, not in an arrogant way, just like that was all I ever wanted to do.
Right.
So that was kind of my plan from the get-go. Joining a band that was already established was never ever my plan. That was the left field thing, but it's been great and it worked out, you know.
Mm-hmm. Now, do you like nowadays? It's like with all the MP3 digital, that kind of thing. Do you like having more control over like the production and that kind of thing than people did before? Or I mean, is it more creative for you that way? Or
I think so. I never was around for the old way, but hearing about it my whole life, it always sounded like a drag, having to deal with some big machine record label who's telling you what to do and all that, which is like a myth now. I mean, that shit doesn't exist.
it doesn't, right?
No one cares. Even the big labels and like big artists can do whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah.
Because the labels don't really have any power anymore. So I could imagine that it's better now, but it's all I've ever known. Everything I've ever done has been independent.
See, I know you're young, but I didn't think you were that young.
Well, no, it's not. It's just that I was never on like a big major label. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I never like had a deal in the '80s and lost it or some shit like half the people you meet backstage. So I think it's pretty cool. The downside is that there's so many bands that it's hard to stand out, and it's hard for new bands to make any kind of noise. You know, that's the good thing about the machine back then, is that it could put a new band on the map. The ones that deserve to had that upper hand, where, I mean, yeah, some shitty ones got up there too, but now even the bands that should be huge household names aren't ever going to be. They'll have a little niche, and if they're lucky they can sell 1,000 tickets, but there's not going to be another fucking Coldplay. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because they came out when it was still, the machinery was still working.
Right.
And I don't think, and that's pop music. I mean, for a rock band, there's like really, I mean, there's not like there's no hope for a career. It's just no hope for multi-platinum millionaire Ferraris and fucking, cover Rolling Stone for a rock and roll band anymore. That's my theory.
Right. Have you guys picked out a song? Do you know what song you're going to do for like a video? Like
No,
the first thing we're going to do
yet.
We don't know yet.
Not yet, but like I said, we're kind of all having trouble picking our favorite. So.
That's a good, you know what? That's a good problem to have.
That's a good problem.
Which one do we like the best? We don't know. We like them all. Well, thank you so much. It has been a pleasure talking with you, and can't wait to see you on tour, and can't wait to hear the album. You guys will love it. His guitar tone is to die for. Anyway, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
All right.